Hey everybody, it's Teph. I decided to do another Pokemon inspired tutorial, this one on Arcanine. I really love this look because it really walks the line of being dramatic and totally wearable, and I hope you like this look as much as I do. Let's just get into the tutorial.
As with pretty much any look, you're going to want to start out with primer, and this is going to have two benefits. First of all, it is going to make sure your foundation stays on long, all day, and beautifully even. Second off, it's going to act as a barrier between your skin and your foundation, and speaking of foundation, that's what's up next. I like to dot my foundation all over my skin when I'm applying it with my fingers, and then just go ahead and rub it in with one hand, because why not? Why get two hands dirty, right? And then I always go back in and do a second layer to make sure I have the coverage that I want, and just make sure that's all rubbed in. Then of course you're going to want to go in with concealer to conceal under the eyes and any blemishes that you have. I personally like going in and dotting the concealer where I need it, and then afterwards going back to blend it back in. The benefit to this is it's going to give it a little bit of a chance to dry out and thicken a little bit, so you're going to end up with absolutely beautiful coverage. And you can also use this to highlight if you like. I'm doing just a tiny bit of that as I'm blending it all in. And then of course next you're going to want to set everything with powder so you don't turn into an oily monster like I have a tendency to do. To start with the eyes, we're going to prime in two steps. First off, we have to use an eye primer to make sure that the shadows last all day and do not crease. Next, I'm using a white base. This is just the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. You can use any white base that you have. And this is to make sure that when these shadows go on, because they are brighter, that they go on and they really pop, and that they don't sheer out too much. As I mentioned, this is an optional step, but I think it really makes the difference. So just go ahead and put that on, blur it out a little bit. And then I'm also adding some to my inner corners and lower lash line so that the highlight colors that I'm going to be putting there really do stand out and don't blur out super easily. You can use any shadows that you like, but I like the ones from the 88 original palette, starting out with just a very light highlighting tone and using a tiny brush to put that in my inner corners of my eyes, and about a third of the way in. Next we have our first orange, and I'm patting that on the center third of my eye, concentrating on making sure that I get good color payoff and that it is as bright as possible. Of course, it's not a super bright orange. And then you'll notice that I'm going in and I'm doing my best to blend it in with the light highlighting shade, because the ultimate goal is to create a beautiful gradient. Now we have our second orange, and that goes on the outer third of the eye. And as you can see, this one is quite a bit brighter and really brings that gradient together. I'm also putting that one a little bit into the crease and just being really careful with that. Of course, you don't want fallout all over your face. And then bringing that in on the lower lash line a little bit, because we definitely want that to pop. Now I am using a color from the Naked 3 palette for the crease and the outer V, but you can use a color from the 88 Originals palette if you'd like. I just really liked the colors in this one. So I'm going back and forth between putting that in the crease and putting highlight on the upper brow bone. The benefit to having that highlight there when you're doing the crease is it makes the crease color a lot easier to work with. So I go ahead and I just alternate putting in the crease color and then brightening up that outer orange, because I want to make sure that both of the colors are really defined. And you'll notice that I'm not blending out the darker crease color too much. That's because I do not want it to take over my eye. This, while a bright look, is supposed to look pretty wearable. So I'm going back and forth between all of these different shades, the highlighter, the orange, and the darker crease color, and just making sure to go smoothly and slowly and make sure everything is exactly where I want it to be. And then just kind of blending everything a little bit, because we don't want too many harsh lines. Then I just like to go in with a little bit of powder to clean up any fallout and clean up the eyes a little bit. Highlight one last time. And now we're on to eyeliner. Now this is my quick and easy tip to tightline and wireline. Just close your eyes around the eyeliner tip. I know it's scary, but as long as it's sharp, it won't poke you too bad, or at all really. And then just go ahead and I carefully put a little bit of eyeliner. I didn't want too much because I didn't want to detract from the shadows. Just used a little bit of pencil on that upper lash line just to make sure that the lashes looked really big and voluminous. Now, of course, curling the lashes to make sure that those look great for the mascara. And the mascara that I'm going to use is one of my all-time favorites. It's the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I have a little bit mini, but you know, the full size is great too. I actually am currently using the full size. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a couple generous coats to each set of lashes and to the bottom. And this would be a great look for false lashes. I opted not to wear them, but I think they'd look great. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. And I used to do my brows this way, filling them in with powder and then going over with the e.l.f. Wet Gloss Clear Mascara. So you can do that, or you can use any other brow products that you like, totally up to you. Next, we gotta go ahead and do blush and bronzer. This is a little trick if you maybe don't have a skinnier brush for your bronzer. Just take a powder brush and squeeze it, and then you can go ahead and blend it out afterwards, like I'm doing a wonderful job of. And then I went ahead and just put a little bit on my temples as well. The blush that I chose was a more neutral blush, and that's because I used more orangey and neutral shades on the eyes. I didn't want too much pink in the look. And speaking of pink, the lips is where we're gonna use that pink. So I just chose a neutral pink lip that is a little bit different than my normal lips, kind of makes them pop, but still isn't gonna overpower the eyes, since this is a dramatic look, even if it can be sort of wearable because we didn't all smoke it out. And that's the completed look.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want my links to my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, those can be found in the bottom bar below. And I'll see you beauties next time. Bye!